Hi y'all, it's Psychic Cynthia here. And Mercury is about ready to go retrograde as I'm filming this. It's actually entering what's called the pre-retrograde storm today, and it's already been in the shadow. And Mercury has this whole preamble it does before it officially installs retrograde. But I got a question today, and I just wanted to answer it here. You may be wondering the same. Somebody has asked me, and others have asked me before, Cynthia, do you basically just unplug from all technology when Mercury's in retrograde? Because, they're saying it's giving them so much problems lately, and they're just about ready to unplug for a few weeks. And my short answer is no, I don't completely unplug. I'm not able to do that, and I don't think I would want to do that. I might give myself some more time for unplugging. I might, use it a little less. I actually might use it more. The thing is, I'm somebody who's supposed to be helping to guide people through these passages. And the main way I do that at this time is through the use of technology to communicate. So I'm not unplugging. I'm out here filming videos and praying to the gods and to God and Goddess and Mother Earth that the videos will upload. Okay, so another response I have to that, though, is, in terms of, these celestial influences that make it harder for technology, it stresses the technology, it stresses the system, stresses our nervous system. But how do I deal with that? I mean, yeah, it'd be great if you could unplug. I mean, I get that, and I do think we all need to unplug some. It's not even just so much about unplugging. Get out in nature, okay? So yes, spend more time out in nature if you can. But at this point, it's hard for a lot of us to unplug. So I approach technology, the same way I approach most things during Mercury retrograde, and that is to give myself some spaciousness. Hear that word, space, and grace in scheduling, in what I take on in terms of responsibilities, and prioritize. Sometimes it's just not that important if your email's messing up or your messenger, or you can't get the text. Sometimes it's not that important. Sometimes it is, okay, but a lot of times it's not. So I learn, and I practice. Going with the flow. I mean, we all know how to do this. I think on some level it is intuitive, it is deep within you. But our modern society gives us all these messages that, we need to hustle culture, and we need to make things happen, and we need to be somewhere else than where we are at right now. The Mercury retrograde will humble you. It will remind you that where you're at right now is exactly where you're supposed to be. You are there because that is the frequency that you're on, the lessons you're learning. It doesn't mean you're supposed to stay there forever, but it's just where you're at right now, okay? And there's a power in non-resistance. There can be a power in resistance. I understand that. Like in the idea of resisting evil or, bad things in the world, but there's also a power in going with the flow, in, understanding that, there's two different approaches you can have that I'm thinking of, at least right now. You can have the approach of trying to sculpt things to your will, to make things to your will. Like if it's not rainy, you can do a rain dance, or you can, create weather modification or whatever it is. And, that's the path of magic. And that has a long tradition in many tribes and parts of the world. Or you can adapt to the cosmic blueprint, the higher harmony. You might adapt yourself. And I think Mercury retrograde is a good time to adapt the self, rather than trying to push to adapt the universe to you. And if you try to push to adapt the universe to you, you will be humbled. Mark my words, you will be humbled. Because as powerful as humans are, we are such wonderful creators. We are rays of the divine light, but we are not the totality of the divine light. So yeah, if your technology is driving you nuts, unplug a little while, but mainly just go with the flow. Maybe prioritize what you'll be using technology for and what you won't. This might not be the best time to try to implement new technological programs, although it could be a good time for learning. Mercury retrograde is a good time for gathering up information, even though the information is not all available. So that's why we don't push forward. This is a time for trusting and understanding that there is a larger blueprint, even if we can't always see it. And why would we? We're just humans, okay? we're just humans, and we are magnificent humans. So I hope this helps give you a little guidance during Mercury retrograde. Just slow down and take your time. Don't overschedule yourself. Don't, try to pressure yourself or others, because that will not end well for you during these next few weeks. And I think the retrograde actually starts on the 17th or 18th, depending on your time zone. It's kind of late in the evening here where I live on the 17th, but 18th for many of you. That would be July, yes, July 18th. I had to think about the month for a minute. But we're already in the preamble time, as I call it. So begin adapting now. Remember what I said. There are times for trying to, I guess some people like to manipulate and work with the energies and make them move the way they want them to. And we've all been there, by the way. And then there are times to adapt oneself to the energies. And this is the latter. This is a time for flexibility, for trust. I know it's hard because there can be many miscommunications during Mercury retrograde, but try to maintain an open heart. And also don't overcommit yourself now. And in fact, don't commit to anything major if you can. I mean, it's a fine time to take on small projects, or, maybe to take a class or a retreat, something that you can learn about that uplifts you. That's great. It's a great time for this. You could even take a short trip. I know that sounds crazy because a lot of people say don't travel during Mercury retrograde. But you could take a short trip, especially to somewhere that you're familiar with, that you've been before, somewhere that nurtures your soul. And that could be useful. Or maybe, take a short visit to somewhere in your town that you like to visit, somewhere that uplifts you. These are all good things. This is supposed to be a time of replenishing the soul, not trying to push your agenda or push your will, or just not trying to push. This is a time to chill, to relax as much as you can. And it's not the end of the world, usually, if things don't go our way. Surprise! Alrighty, well, until next time, I'm sending you much love, bright blessings, and may the cosmos themselves be with you. May the celestial angels bless you and guide you, soothe and calm you during this time of Mercury retrograde, and at all times. Bright blessings.